Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're working in IT right now, I'm willing to bet your inbox is just an absolute chaotic mess of red alerts. Today, we're going on a bit of a rescue mission. We're diving into the AI IT Operations Setup Guide for 2026 to figure out exactly how we can transform all that chaos into a calm, automated system.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit the AIOps paradox, diagnose why these tools are failing, look at the big architecture shift, check out some benchmarks and proof, and finally walk through 6 steps to implementation. Let's jump right in.
All right, Section 1, the AIOps paradox. More tools, more work.
30%. Get this, despite all the massive, heavy investments in artificial intelligence for IT operations over the last couple of years, engineering toil, that manual grinding work you have to do every single day, has actually gone up by 30% compared to 2024. I mean, think about that for a second. You bought the AI to make your life easier, and instead you're literally working 30% harder.
And this right here perfectly captures that AIOps paradox. We're all sold this amazing AI promise, right? Fully automated IT, beautiful self-healing systems, but the actual reality? Teams are just drowning. We're talking 500 to 1,200 manual alerts every single day. Just endless noise. The marketing hype is completely clashing with this daily nightmare. It's kind of the ultimate irony. You buy an incredibly expensive AI tool, and it basically just hands you a second job.
Okay, moving to Section 2. Why disconnected tools fail. Diagnosing the sprawl.
So, looking at the data, it turns out that 58% of IT professionals say they actually struggle to interpret the machine learning outputs from the tools they already have. And, well, it totally makes sense why teams are so frustrated. You've got these million-dollar platforms pumping out massive amounts of data, but they just aren't giving us human-readable context.
Which leads us to probably the most important question of this entire explainer. Why exactly are more tools creating more work? I mean, it seems completely counterintuitive, doesn't it? Well, the answer actually comes down to a fundamental structural flaw in how we've been building modern IT environments over the last few years.
The real root of this paradox is what we call the tool sprawl problem. The average enterprise today is running anywhere from 5 to 15 different monitoring tools all at once. And look, the issue isn't that the AI is bad. It's that it's completely disconnected. These systems don't share context with each other at all. So your network tool flags an anomaly, your cloud tool flags an anomaly, your application tool flags an anomaly, and suddenly, boom, you've got this massive stream of redundant alerts. And who has to sit in the middle and manually figure out how all those fragmented alerts connect? You do. Adding more disconnected AI is literally just creating more noise for humans to manually route.
So, how do we fix it? That brings us to Section 3, the architecture shift, the central correlation layer. The fix really lies in this definition right here, the single correlation layer. What this is an architectural framework that takes all the data from those 5 to 15 disconnected monitoring tools we just talked about and aggregates it into one centralized AI-driven event correlation system. So actually, instead of ripping and replacing your tools, you're putting a really smart brain, like a master puzzle solver or, a highly seasoned traffic cop, right on top of them. This single layer looks at everything across the entire stack, connects the dots for you, and figures out what's actually broken.
And the result is just beautifully simple. Actionable alerts only. By automatically filtering out all the noise and redundant flags at that central layer, human engineers only see the specific root cause issues that actually require genuine intervention. The noise is gone. And that 30% increase in manual toil we saw earlier, it finally starts to drop.
All right, let's look at the numbers. Section 4, benchmarks and proof, real ROI. Let's really ground ourselves in the massive financial stakes here. $14,056. According to the latest data, that is the average cost of IT downtime every single minute. I mean, at that burn rate, manual correlation isn't just annoying, it is absolutely terrifying. Every second your engineers spend reading through 1,200 disconnected alerts, your company is burning over 14 grand a minute. Just let that sink in.
But when we look at major enterprises that are actually using a centralized AIOps layer, the results are staggering. BT Group dropped their mean time to resolve from 2 whole hours down to just 85 seconds. That is wild. Meanwhile, Cambia Health went from entirely manual alert handling to having 83% of their alerts resolved completely automatically by the AI. So this isn't just theory anymore. This is real-world proof of slashing resolution times and literally saving millions.
And zooming out to the broader industry, moving from legacy IT setups to properly deployed AIOps environments yields a super reliable 40 to 60% improvement in resolution times across the board. If you map a 60% reduction onto that $14,000 a minute downtime cost we just talked about, well, the ROI becomes pretty undeniable, for sure.
So how do we actually do this? Section 5. 6 steps to implementation, the setup guide.
All right, this is your proven roadmap to basically move from paradox to performance. First up, clean your data. You've got to standardize and deduplicate it so the AI actually has good inputs. Second, start small. Target alert reduction as your very first use case. Third, choose your platform. Fourth, integrate your stack into that single correlation layer. Fifth, enable auto-remediate, but only once you really trust the system. And sixth, measure your KPIs, like SLA compliance. If you follow these sequentially, you are going to absolutely transform your operations.
I want to highlight that step 3 is absolutely critical. It turns out matching your platform to your environment type is a total make-or-break decision. If you have really complex legacy on-prem systems, you're probably going to want to lean toward a causal AI tool like Dynatrace. But if you're entirely cloud-native, Datadog might be a much better fit. The golden rule here is simple. Your architecture dictates your tool.
Okay, but before we completely wrap up, we do need to talk about a looming risk: 21%. While this technology is incredible, there's a serious governance gap right now that is putting a lot of organizations at risk. This quote from Deloitte's 2026 State of AI report really says it all. Only 21% of companies have mature governance frameworks for autonomous AI agents. And here's the danger with that. As AIOps moves beyond just detecting problems and starts actually fixing them, using self-healing agentic AI, most organizations are just letting these powerful tools loose without proper audit trails. Think about it. If an AI agent automatically changes a firewall rule to fix a network issue at 2 a.m., you absolutely need a governance framework that logs exactly what it did and why. Otherwise, you are flying completely blind.
So, you now have the blueprint to finally escape the AIOps paradox and cure that alert fatigue. But the ultimate question you really need to ask your team tomorrow morning is this. You know how to build autonomous IT, but do you know how to govern it? Thanks for tuning into this explainer. I'll see you next time.